Take two. I'm feeling in the mood for some action, maybe some post-apocalyptic, maybe some bang bang shoot 'em up. That's what I'm feeling tonight. So let's take a look at our selections. First up is Rolling Vengeance. Always use the right tool for the job. Variety magazine calls it, quote, compelling, echoes of Rocky and Death Wish, end quote. I see a large monster truck-like machine, and it's crushing the shit out of what looks like an old pickup truck. Sounds good. All right, let's see what's next. The Naked Cage. Raw violence and hot rage explode behind bars from the director of Chained Heat action-adventure, Canon home video. That's a good sign. You always know you're in for a treat with Canon. Next up, we have Underground, starring Jesse the Body Ventura. On the road, there are no rules. 1989, 92 minutes. For our next movie, we have Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins. Move over, Mr. Bond, here comes Remo! So, move over, Mr. Bond, here comes Remo. It seems like they're trying to market this as some kind of a modern reboot of the James Bond franchise with Fred Ward. Our last selection of the night, Nightforce with Linda Blair. Some people give a damn. So yeah, Linda Blair's in this, James Van Patten, Chad McQueen, Richard Lynch, James Wilder, Dean R. Miller, Bruce Fisher, and Cameron Mitchell as Senator Adam Hansen. Let's put it out there to the social media universe and let's see what you want me to watch tonight. I think I could use a drink. Well, we've tabulated the votes. We do have a decisive winner. Tonight, I will be watching Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins. The Atlanta Journal says a cross between the Karate Kid and James Bond. So the Karate Kid and James Bond. So I guess he's new in town. Maybe he's a new agent. Maybe he's like a misfit agent and he has to prove that he's you know, take two. But let's get into this. Let's see what this is. Take two. Officer Macon wakes up in a hospital room on the morning of his announced funeral. He has a new name, a new face, and a job offer with a secret government organization. Remo will be taught to walk through fire, race across sand, leaving no footprints, and dodge an assassin's bullets. Remo's being, mind and body, will become the ultimate weapon, the only one which leaves no trace. He looks like he's hanging off of, like, I don't know. I almost like picture like a Mickey Mouse cartoon with the giant and Mickey Mouse is hanging from the giant's uvula. That's kind of what this picture makes me think of. And the other photo is him, I don't know, help me out here. I've never been to the Statue of Liberty before. I don't know if this is to scale. I don't know. Very brief description. I guess He's a police officer who gets recruited into a government organization. The masses have spoken, and it shall be so. Remo Williams, let's give it a go. So things are not looking too promising. I took the copy of Remo Williams out of its case, and I found it appears to be a home VHS copy of Mighty Mouse cartoons. The evening has not started off very smoothly. I don't remember where I got this from. Person who sold me this copy of Remo Williams. You owe me one copy of Remo Williams. The adventure begins, and you can have your damn Mighty Mouse tape back. Not to despair. We have a fallback plan. That's why we tabulate votes. A close second, which becomes our new selection of the evening, Nightforce, starring Linda Blair. Nightforce, a terrorist's own nightmare. Angry about terrorism? Action heroine Linda Blair will make you stand up and cheer for freedom and the pursuit of revenge. When the beautiful daughter of an outspoken anti-terrorist senator is kidnapped by South American terrorists, the senator's hands are tied. He has been campaigning on a platform of refusing to deal with terrorists, and he can't reverse his position even for his own daughter. But others are not so patient. The young girl's friends, led by action heroine Linda Blair, and tough guys Richard Lynch and Chad McQueen, take off to the jungles for an explosive rescue mission. So I guess they're not an elite fighting force. They're just citizens? It's not really clear. This has a lot of potential here. Let's make sure it is actually Nightforce, and I am actually going to watch this. All right. So we'll see you on the other side.
Where do you fit into all of this? This is what you need.
You're out of your mind. What's gotten into you? You're being ridiculous.
A bunch of rank amateurs.
We don't negotiate with terrorists. Don't it?
You're worried about your friend, aren't you?
Times have gotten tough. The game has gotten rough. I remember it was in another lifetime. I remember it was like another world.
Just don't accept it.
Everything was black and white. You could still tell wrong from right. I still remember.
Are you boys finished playing with yourselves?
Tonight, I watched a little movie called Nightforce.
We're looking for our friend who was kidnapped by terrorists.
My mind was not blown by this movie, and it didn't have me in stitches the entire time. The movie is a very competently made, very cliche-heavy.
I'm getting a bad feeling about this.
You looking for trouble, fat man?
So the movie opens with this rockin' 80s anthem sung by Linda Blair.
I still remember.
Interspliced with the credits are people just getting shot. Nothing has happened yet. No story has been put into motion. No characters have been introduced. We don't even know what city we're in. Before the credits are even done, I don't even know how many people have been killed. So that's how we're introduced to the movie, is just with this this random gunfire and violence. As the credits come to an end, we get a little bit of exposition.
In a bizarre twist of circumstance, 3 members of a terrorist group, whose identity is still unknown, were killed while trying to plant a bomb onto the stage at the sports stadium. The bomb was apparently meant for Senator Hansen.
So the senator was going to give a speech on anti-terrorism, and the terrorists that he was speaking out against were trying to assassinate him by planting a bomb at the venue where he was going to speak the next day. Cut to a dance club, a discotheque, if you will. We're introduced to Christy, the senator's daughter, and her friends, among which her friend Carla, played by Linda Blair.
I propose a toast to the best rider this side of Texas.
In our little gang of heroes, we have Steakface, because his face looks like a steak. A cool guy.
I can't believe they're trying to kill your father, Christy.
Who shares a dorm room with Steakface. There is Macho Man.
This is a chance of a lifetime. We could even make Soldier of War magazine.
How does your brother feel about you always taking out his future old lady?
Richie Tozier. I'm going to call him Richie Tozier, because that's the character that he is. He's always cracking wise. He never takes anything seriously.
Jeez, you think you used enough dynamite there, Butch?
After the club scene, we see Christy finishing up her riding lesson. She's met by Linda Blair, who pulls up in a car and greets Christy by rolling the window down and pointing the muzzle of a crossbow.
Get in.
To which Christy laughs and greets Linda Blair using very specific racist nicknames.
Put it away, Pocahontas.
Oh, anything you say, Tano.
So, bows and arrows, horses equals Indians? It's never really explained. We cut from them in the car to them at the health club where they're pretending to be breathless on an exercise bike.
I thought you were talking about the competition.
We learn from Linda Blair and Christy's conversation that Christy is having second thoughts about getting married.
I mean, I don't understand you. He's rich, he's good looking, and he's a Worthington. That's almost royal blood.
Then why don't you marry him?
Well, he never asked me.
We cut to a crane shot over a garden space. We see Linda Blair in conversation with somebody, and somebody asks, "Hey,
Has anyone seen Christy?"
Oh, I think she was getting the something from the someplace."
Well, she told me she was checking on the hors d'oeuvres in the pantry.
That's impossible. I was just there.
And then we find Christy in the hayloft. And Linda Blair walks in on them.
I don't believe this.
We get another scene with Linda Blair and Christy, and Linda Blair is questioning her. How can you throw your life away? What is this? And then it goes from that scene to a scene of Christy it's this very sensual scene where we cut back to footage of the scene that we just saw a couple of minutes ago.
We're gonna have to tell your brother about us, Steve.
And it's at this point that I'm wondering what the fuck kind of movie I'm watching here. Where is this going? I see nothing that would lead me to believe that we're headed towards this. Just as I'm thinking, oh, Jesus Christ, we're never going to get to any action, Christy gets kidnapped. Very easily, by the way. Just grabs Christy and throws her in the van. And they take off. If I had any delusions that these people were some elite fighting force, they were completely shattered. So this leads to a little bit of a car chase. Like, there's no other traffic on the road. And this one yellow truck. Damn you, yellow truck. Why do you hate Christy so much? Why do you want to see her get raped? That's right. It goes there. The guy who snatches Christy decides in the middle of the car chase.
You know something, baby? I'm gonna make a whore out of you.
This movie is not kind to poor Christy. Alright, so I'm gonna warn you ahead of time. Things just get worse for her.
Just don't accept it!
Mr. Cameron Mitchell is playing Senator Hanson, who is Christy's father.
In return for Christy's life, they demand $2.5 million in cash and a prepared statement condemning American involvement in Central America read on national TV. We have 72 hours to respond, 14 days to meet their demands. Anybody got any coffee?
He feels powerless to do anything to save his daughter, and
How can you just sit there while this is happening? For Christ's sake, you're a senator. You can arrange to have their demands met. You have it within your power.
You don't understand. We don't negotiate with terrorists.
this is Cameron Mitchell's Oscar clip.
I was the one who introduced the goddamn legislation into the Senate.
This isn't a goddamn press conference.
You have any idea what this would make me look like if I gave in now? I can't reverse my position. Everything we've stood for would become a farce.
To hell with politics. She's your daughter.
I can't. I can't bend the law to anyone's benefit. God damn it, not even my own.
It's a wonderful performance. And it's a shame this is the last we see of him the entire movie.
There's nothing we can do. Not a goddamn thing.
The government isn't going to do anything to save Christy. Her fiance is not going to do anything to help her.
Have her father send in a goddamn hit squad. It's done all the time.
Not in Central America, not during an election year.
Nobody is going to help her. So it's up to her friends. And it starts with Steakface, of course, because he loves Christy. He's going to go down and save her. Cool Guy sees Steakface packing up.
So what the hell are you waiting around for?
Maybe I'm waiting for you to ask me to come.
Steakface and Cool Guy go to Richie Tozier.
N-O spells no. I am not going.
But ultimately, of course, he says yes.
What are we gonna use for firepower?
You might ask, how did these college kids get access to all these assault weapons?
Nice shooting tag!
All right, Henry, now it's your turn. Let's go fire a real man's gun. Come on.
They have a bazooka.
Load me up.
You want me to pat you on the head, too?
Hell yeah.
Your guess is as good as mine. It's never really explained. Linda Blair comes along and she says,
When do we leave?
No way. Forget it.
Listen, Christy is my best friend, and I have the right to go.
it's amazing that the characters get anything accomplished in this movie because they have no plan whatsoever. It's never established that they know anything about the cartel group who has kidnapped her. It seems like the extent of their plan is just to drive down into Central America.
Are you sure this is the right way?
Well, it's on the map.
Stop in every little cantina and just sort of look around.
Notice anything strange about this place?
What do you mean?
Like we're the only Americans here.
No, that's real perceptive of you, Mac.
Guys, I'm getting a real bad feeling about this.
They would be absolutely SOL if they didn't happen upon Richard Lynch, who is a Vietnam vet / mercenary.
In this town, we fuck with whatever we want.
Not this time.
Richard Lynch saves this movie. He's surrounded by mystique. He's this deep, tortured soul. He has a house in the swamp. He has a monkey who is his best friend.
What do you think, Penny? Yeah. I agree. A bunch of rank amateurs, huh?
He plays the flute. He's seen horrible, horrible things. So while the gang is mucking about in the jungle with Richard Lynch and his monkey, Christy is being held captive at the cartel's hideout. Along with all the other underdeveloped characters in this movie, we are eventually introduced to Esteban. It's basically Dom DeLuise with dirt smeared on his face doing a Fidel Castro impression.
What is this?
In an exposition scene, Richard Lynch talks about how evil Esteban is. The first time we meet Esteban in the film, he stops one of his henchmen from killing a priest.
We don't kill priests.
I'm convinced after watching the rest of this movie that Esteban just loves slapping the shit out of people. Finally, Christy gets a break. One of the guards takes pity on her. He gives her food, he gives her clothes, and eventually he breaks her out. The fact that he's a circus performer and that he's a little person, he probably gets teased all the time, so he has some sympathy. He's a sympathetic character, and he feels sorry for Christy.
I was in the circus. I am not like these ignorant people. I have even been to El Norte.
Help me, please.
And so he decides to help. He gets her onto the horse, which we've established Christy knows how to ride. She's eventually run down, and we get this real uneasy feeling that something really bad is about to happen to Christy. But at the last second, Christy is saved by Esteban. Esteban comes to her rescue. He then goes over to Christy. He helps her up. He helps her to her feet.
You see what happens when you start trouble?
What is the matter with you, Nightforce? The movie tricks us into thinking that she has been saved only to punish her more. So now we come to our big climax. Apparently Richard Lynch not only had a bunch of guns, but army fatigues which were tailor-made for Linda Blair and the rest of the guys. He actually went through the trouble of sewing his monkey some camo pants. I think that's pretty sweet. They make a plan, they do some reconnaissance, and then they storm the cartel. It took a long time to get here, but the last stretch of this movie is just... There's explosions. Gunfire. There's bazookas. There's grenades. There's guys on fire. There's horses. There's Jeeps, there's Cadillacs, there's car chases. It's pretty wonderful, except there's no blood. There is no blood anywhere in this movie. There's like 100 henchmen that get killed in this scene. It's amazing that a group of college kids are able to be so effective against a trained fighting force. They kill so many people. They kill everyone. And the last one left is Esteban himself.
I just want you to see yourself die. Fat fuck.
Wah, wah.
You lose, Gringo.
At least they gave Christy a modicum of revenge. Like much of this movie, it's not wholly satisfying. With Esteban being such a horrible character, he needed a much more horrible death. So that was Nightforce. Is it a great movie?
N-O spells no.
By no means. It has a lot of potential for greatness, but it doesn't commit. I would recommend it for its watchability. It is a completely serviceable 80s schlock action movie, but it is ultimately underwhelming.
Why take that when you can take the real thing?
Linda Blair, by the way, she's acting her ass off. She is really trying. She gives it socks.
I know we're doing what's right, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid we're all gonna die.
The story is very, very simple. It's a very simple idea. The entire movie is very basic and simple, and it's easy to understand. It's completely good to throw on a Saturday night when you and your friends want to watch some mindless action. It's got some funny moments.
Ustedes hombres son pendejos.
So what the hell is that supposed to mean?
I don't know. She said it. I don't speak Jewish.
Both intentionally and unintentionally.
Oh my God.
What?
I can't fly.
What?
I can't fly a goddamn helicopter.
What are we gonna do?
It's got some pretty good performances from cult classics like Richard Lynch and Cameron Mitchell.
I can't bend the law to anyone's benefit, God damn it, not even my own.
Look it up on YouTube. It's probably the only place you can find it. So that's my review. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed watching this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back with future episodes. I guess there's nothing else to say, but Linda Blair, take us home.
The times have gotten tough.